Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gents. Let's talk about Indiana Jones 5. There's been a lot of stuff about this film. Oh, so much stuff. Things, of course, which I have covered here on the channel, as I do enjoy talking about this film. It's an interesting one. It's a film which I personally think shouldn't have ever been made, just because they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, really. But look, whatever. Harrison Ford, last we heard, was going to be off for like 3 months or something like that. And they weren't going to be filming anything, and it was done horrendous. It's all on lockdown, etc., etc., etc. This seemingly not only confirms a plot point, right? Leaked set photos confirm this plot point, but they're leaked set photos. They're dressing Glasgow as a movie set right now, so they're still filming, which is good. Like, that's actually really, really good news for a few reasons. So, one, let's talk about Harrison Ford's injury, right? He was recently pictured coming out of a hospital in a sling, a shoulder injury. 9 times out of 10, it's probably just going to be a rotator cuff. It would be an external rotator cuff. He was injured in what was supposed to be prep for a fight. It wasn't a stunt, it was a fight choreography prep, right? So the likelihood is, again, if anyone knows their A&P, their anatomy and physiology, it was probably an external rotator cuff that blew, and his shoulder just blew out. Now, obviously, he's had surgery on that, apparently, and he's in a cast and a sling, and it's all sort of, bandaged up, ready to rock, and he's been pictured out and about now. So he is on the road to recovery. It will still be a good few weeks, I would imagine, before he's going to be seen doing anything. But you don't know. They may have put a whole bunch of corticosteroids in him. He may be up and running quite soon. It is dependent. I mean, this is Harrison Ford. He's going to have the best of the best healthcare, right? This is Harrison Ford, millionaire, under Disney, billionaires. He's going to get the best of the best healthcare on this production. So I did a video saying, apparently it's rumoured to be shut down now for 12 weeks. And that did seem likely if he was going to be undergoing quite rigorous surgery. But he's already been pictured out and about. So it sort of cast doubt on that. And then even more so now is the fact that they are dressing sets ready to go. Which, we'll have a look at now, because like I said, this does confirm some plot points. Now, this is in Glasgow, right? This is in Glasgow, the streets of Glasgow, and it looks to be, right, this is courtesy of the Glasgow Times, anyway, and they are dressing this to be New York City, right? This is an exclusive to the Glasgow Times, so there you go, you've got your reckoning there, Glasgow Times. But this confirms a plot point that was leaked a little while ago, which is to do with the time period, the setting, the 2 time periods that this film is due to be set in, right? Because this is New York City, although it's Glasgow City, 1969, which, if anyone knows anything about that, or any eagle-eyed people, combing through these images, you will be able to see that there's a welcome home message for, of course, the 3 astronauts, which you can see right here: Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins. Now, that was the Apollo 11. It's the Apollo 11 mission, actually, which touched down. So this does seemingly confirm that. Now, the rumor was it was going to start off in Nazi Germany, obviously in the World War II, and then it was going to move forward in time to 1969, or at least around that time, because it was all set around the space race and Mads Mikkelsen's Nazi scientists defecting to NASA, which is, it is something which actually happened. It's taking, a leaf out of actual history. I think in terms of this looking like New York City, I think that they'll do a pretty good job of it, to be perfectly honest. But this very specifically, being New York City, is important because the trio themselves were hailed with a ticker tape parade in New York City on August 13th, and were heroes, of course, to generations and generations of Americans and people pretty much all around the world. Because, how many people have set foot on the moon? But like I said, this does actually confirm that as a plot point for the movie. So, and like I said, in terms of like how the set pieces actually look, I think the set pieces look pretty decent. But they are dressing them. They're ready to go. I would expect in the next few days there to be leaked set videos, because that's just a street in Glasgow, and they're clearly about to start filming. So has the production shut down? No. It hasn't shut down, and we even had that actually from James Mangold. He tweeted it out because someone tweeted to him, was like, "Oh, you know, get better." Basically just sort of questioned the narrative that's been thrown out there recently, a justified narrative, FYI, especially when you know that someone's massively injured. But they tweeted to James Mangold, was like, "What's going on?" Blah blah blah, and he was like, "Yeah, no, etc." But we're still shooting or something along those lines, and this actually confirms that. So, few things to take home from this. Time period confirmed, and this is an old leak. This isn't the newer leaks where they're talking about the Die Glock or the Die Glock, and you know the Nazi, the bell, basically, and the time travel element. This looks to be corresponding to the older leak, which is all to do with Mads Mikkelsen being a Nazi scientist that defects, goes to work at NASA, and helps in terms of the space race. Now, we don't know from there. There hasn't been anything else confirmed, or there's no official plot synopsis and things. But the leaks didn't really go a step further to confirm anything. There was, of course, the other leaks, which then came, more recent. But I've had a source that's worked on this film that has basically debunked all of that. So this confirms those leaks anyway. And I think that's a good approach, actually. I think this is a good avenue to go down for Indiana Jones. I do have on good authority that Indiana Jones will not go to space. Thank God. Let's hope not. Because that would suck. That'd be terrible. I don't want Harrison Ford prancing around in space. Bad times. But apparently he doesn't go to space, so that's good. So it'll be interesting to see what part of sort of occultism, sort of occultist activity that they throw into this to work in, because that is Indiana Jones. It's all about religion and the occult and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see what they throw in here for him to be combating with. And interestingly enough, those pictures that were taken before he injured himself, he did have de-aging tracking spots on his face. So that's interesting to note as well. Whether they're going to de-age him or there'll be some form of a pasting over the top. But I just thought I'd throw that in there at the end. But there you go. Confirmed. Plot point. Set time period anyway. And then, of course, the fact that this is still happening. The production is still going ahead. They wouldn't dress for no filming. So they're dressing to go and film. So we will hear about that in the coming days. I'm absolutely sure of it. But let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comment section. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. If you stayed this long, you clearly enjoyed the content. And if you enjoy this content, you might like my second channel, which is linked down below in the description box. It's a car channel. I know, a little bit odd, but check it out. You might like it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Take care.